Let me give you just a few quick updates from the end of week 3 here at the 2024 legislative session in Wyoming. What we're looking at is the end of a budget session, and several pieces of important legislation are still in play. The first one is House Bill 92. It protects a parental right when it comes to their interaction with schools and with courts. It makes sure that if a school board allows the kind of policy that would have a child come to school and dress differently or call themselves a different name, that they're not going to hold that away from the parent and not let the parent know that their child is going through something at school. And so this protects the parental right of a parent in an education situation like that. Secondly, we have House Bill 148, which is the regulation of surgical abortions. If there is a abortion clinic that is here in the state of Wyoming, because of these very dangerous procedures, we need to make sure that those who would do those dangerous procedures on a mother, and also, of course, it's very dangerous, it kills a child. We need to make sure that they have admitting privileges in a hospital that is nearby. House Bill 148 will secure that for the state of Wyoming. House Bill 166, Education Savings Accounts. We put together a special video just for that, and I would like for you to take a look at that video specially. But this gives us the opportunity, possibly in the state of Wyoming soon, to have education savings accounts that will empower parents to send a child to the school that best fits their family needs and their child's need. Next, we have Senate File 9. This is parental rights in education. This continues to enhance that relationship between a parent and a school to ensure that their child is getting the education that they need. Thankfully, this has now gone through both the Senate and the House of Representatives. Any changes that have happened to the bill, they've agreed to them, is now headed to the governor for signature. Do continue to pay attention to that important piece of legislation. Senate File 61 addresses education charter schools, and this just kind of clarifies some amendments. It's really a cleanup bill, but it's still very important for education freedom. Also, and we need to spend a little extra time talking about this, Senate File 94. This is simply entitled An Act Regarding Compelled Speech in State Employers. This is one of those bills where if someone attempts to tell a person that they are going to have to call someone something other than the actual gender that they were born as, that's telling a person whenever you see that happen. If, for instance, let me just give you an illustration. If someone who clearly is a man tells me that he is a woman, but he demands that I call him by his preferred gender pronoun, he is compelling me to say something opposite what I know to be true. In a situation like that, he is forcing me to do something that violates my conscience. That is never right. That's called compelled speech. And so when we talk about a situation like that, Senate File 94 preserves the opportunity for a person to live out what they know is true and right. Sadly, this particular legislation has not been let out to a committee right now. Unless it's let out very soon from the Speaker's desk, this could die in what is known as a pocket veto. And so if you have an opportunity, please reach out to the legislature and ask for Senate File 94 to come out of the Speaker of the House's desk so that it can be heard before the entire Legislative Assembly. The next pieces of legislation I want to address are Senate File 98 and Senate File 99. Senate File 99 is famously known as Chloe's Law. Chloe was a girl who was encouraged essentially to go for a radical double mastectomy and begin taking hormones to try to change her from being what she was born as into a boy. As she finally grew out of this circumstance that had caused all of this confusion in her life, one thing became very apparent. She was a girl who wanted to be a girl, but because all of this happened to her when she was just a teenager, these were surgeries that could not be overcome. And she has begun to tell her story across the nation. Many of you may have heard it on the Jordan Peterson podcast as she began to express this, or maybe you've seen the video as she testified before Congress on the grave danger that is being done to underage children And so Chloe's Law is very important. It is passed through the process now. It's now in the House of Representatives, where it will be heard this week and hopefully continue through that process and be sent to the governor for signature. When we look at this important piece of legislation, please weigh in on this to your state representative and your state senator. Next, we have the approval of charter schools. This is another kind of cleanup bill regarding charter schools, but again, we're encouraging education freedom for the state of Wyoming. We're going to continue working on your behalf in the legislature, and there is a lot going on. We're down to what is supposed to be our last week this week, and that means that everything that has been on our table, that we have been notifying you of, are coming to kind of a conclusion. And so we need you to stay informed and involved. Thank you again for staying tuned to Wyoming Family Alliance and our weekly update.